You were not born to stay the same. You were born to grow into the strongest version of yourself. Most people live trapped by their own doubt, not because they aren't capable, but because they've stopped believing that more is possible. The truth is, your potential isn't lost. It's buried beneath habits, excuses, and fear. Unlocking your full potential doesn't require perfection. It only requires the courage to begin again, even when no one is watching. You don't need to wait for the right time. You need to choose that this is the time. Today, we're going to break down what it really takes to rise above average, break your own limits, and step into the person you were always meant to be. This is your reminder that nothing is fixed, and everything can change if you decide to show up fully. If you're ready to take control, push harder, and finally unlock your full potential, then let's dive in. Number 1, set clear, specific goals for daily progress. Most people wake up tired, hit snooze 3 times, and drag themselves into a day they haven't prepared for. That's the truth. No plan, no direction, just movement. And that's the problem. You see, motion isn't the same as progress. You can move all day and still not go anywhere. That's why so many feel stuck, because they are. Not because they're lazy, not because they lack talent, but because they haven't taken the time to sit down and say, here's what I want, here's exactly what I'm working toward. You can't hit a target you haven't set. And until you become specific with your goals, you'll continue spinning your wheels, going in circles, wondering why nothing changes. When I say set clear, specific goals for daily progress, I don't mean some vague idea like, I want to be successful or I want to be in shape. That's not a goal, that's a wish. You've got to know exactly what success looks like. You've got to be able to point at it and say, there it is. If your goal is to get in shape, how much do you want to weigh? How many push-ups should you be doing? If you want to start a business, what kind? What will you sell? How much do you want to earn by the end of the month? These details matter. They give you direction. They give you purpose, and purpose wakes you up in the morning with energy. You need goals that mean something to you, not goals other people told you to chase. You've got to feel it deep in your chest. Because when your goals come from the heart, discipline follows more naturally. You won't have to force yourself to get to work. You'll want to. Every day you wake up and you know what you're aiming for, life gets more focused. You don't waste time. You don't guess. You work with intention. But setting goals isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. You need to decide every morning what matters most today. What will move the needle forward right now? Maybe it's finishing that chapter you started writing. Maybe it's finally calling that client. Maybe it's hitting the gym for 45 minutes, no excuses. Whatever it is, write it down. Every single morning, write down your top 3 goals for the day. Not 15 things. 3. That's all. Get specific. Make them realistic, but push yourself just a bit. When you write down your goals, something happens in the mind. You start filtering the world differently. Your attention sharpens. You begin to notice opportunities you used to miss. You don't scroll endlessly anymore because you know you've got something you promised yourself you would finish. You hold yourself to a higher standard, not because someone's watching, but because you said you would. That internal integrity, that's where the real power lives. And don't get discouraged if things take time. A goal isn't a shortcut, it's a path. And paths take steps. Some days you'll sprint, other days you'll crawl. But as long as you're moving forward, you're doing it right. The key is daily progress. You don't have to climb the whole mountain in a day. Just take the next step. Just do what you said you would do today. Keep the promise. That's how confidence grows. That's how success builds, one finished task at a time. You also need to review your goals at night. Sit down with yourself before the day ends and ask, did I do what I said I would do? If the answer is yes, that's momentum. If the answer is no, don't beat yourself up. Learn from it. What got in the way? Were you distracted? Did you try to do too much? Did you forget why it mattered? Adjust and be better tomorrow. That kind of honesty with yourself creates strength. Most people don't fail because they lack effort. They fail because they don't know what they're working toward. And even those who set goals often stop halfway through the week. But when you treat goal setting like breathing, something you do every day, not just when it's convenient, things begin to shift. Clarity becomes your edge. You wake up and know exactly what needs to happen. You don't leave it to chance. If your life feels messy right now, overwhelmed, scattered, that's usually a sign you're unclear about your direction. Clarity brings peace. Clarity brings power. If you don't control your day will control you. And that's where burnout comes from. Not from working hard, but from working aimlessly. You need a target. You need something to measure. You need to be able to say, here's what I set out to do, and here's what I did. A goal-driven life is a fulfilling life. Not just because you'll achieve more, but because you'll feel in control. You'll stop drifting. You'll stop reacting. You'll start building. You'll start growing. And that's what we all want, to feel like we're becoming someone better than we were yesterday. But you can't become better on accident. It has to be on purpose. You've got to decide who you want to be, and then set goals that make you become that person little by little, one day at a time. Don't underestimate the power of daily goals. They seem small. They seem ordinary. But stacked over time, they change everything. A single decision made every morning. What will I do today that moves me closer can shape your future. That's not exaggeration. That's just how growth works. You're either moving forward or you're standing still. And no one drifts into greatness. So every day, set your intention. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Hold yourself to it. If you hit your goal, celebrate it. If you miss it, learn from it. But never let a day pass without aiming for something. Progress isn't found, it's created. You create it by deciding what matters and going after it with all you've got. And that decision, the decision to live intentionally, is where unlocking your full potential really begins. Number 2, build a consistent morning routine for success. Most people wake up rushed, stressed, and already behind. They scroll their phones before they even sit up. They check emails, dive into social media, or hit snooze until there's barely time to shower. They leave the house half-prepared, scattered, and reactive. And then they wonder why the rest of the day feels chaotic, unproductive, and empty. The reason is simple. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If your morning is sloppy, your day will be too. If your morning is intentional, clear, and focused, your entire life will begin to shift. You don't need to have a perfect life to build a powerful morning. But you do need to make a decision that you're no longer going to leave your mindset, your focus, or your energy to chance. You're going to take control of it before the world has a chance to pull it away from you. A consistent morning routine is not just about being productive. It's about grounding yourself in your values. It's about choosing to start the day with strength instead of stress, with clarity instead of confusion. This isn't about copying someone else's 5 a.m. schedule or trying to cram in 20 habits before breakfast. It's about creating a rhythm that works for you, one that you can stick to, one that builds you up, not burns you out. It might mean waking up just 30 minutes earlier than usual. Not to rush more, but to pause, to breathe, to think. That quiet time is where your mind has space to prepare. That's where you plant the seeds of the day ahead. The first thing you do when you wake up matters. If the first thing you touch is your phone, then you've handed your focus to someone else. If the first thing you do is compare your life to someone else's highlight reel, you've already stolen your energy. But if the first thing you do is sit in stillness, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, what matters most today? Now you've stepped into ownership. That shift alone can change how you carry yourself all day long. Start small. A powerful morning doesn't need to be complicated. Begin with water. Your body is dehydrated after sleep. Hydrating first thing clears your mind and kickstarts your system. Then move your body. It doesn't need to be an intense workout. A short walk, a few stretches, anything that wakes up your physical energy and connects your mind to motion. This simple act reminds you that you are in control of your actions from the very start. Then take 5 or 10 minutes to think. Not scroll, not rush. Think. Write down your priorities for the day. Think about what kind of person you want to be today. Calm, focused, determined. Reflect on what you're grateful for, not to be polite, but because gratitude sharpens your perspective. When you see the good in your life first, it's easier to respond to stress later. This isn't fluff. It's mental preparation. Just like an athlete warms up before a game, you're warming up your focus before stepping into the world. Now here's something most people ignore. Eliminate noise in your morning. Silence isn't boring. Silence is clarity. You don't need the TV blaring, the notifications going off, or the world shouting at you before your brain even wakes up. That noise becomes your thinking. And if your morning is filled with chaos, then your decisions will reflect that. Protect the first hour of your day like it's sacred, because it is. That first hour holds the power to change your attitude, your choices, your outcomes. You're not building a routine to impress anyone. You're doing it to take back your time, your attention, and your mind. Success is never just about what you do. It's about how you think while you're doing it. If you're reactive, distracted, and scattered, then even your best actions won't produce results. But when you step into your day with purpose, you move different. You speak different. People feel that in you. Most people let their mornings slip by. They wake up tired and give their energy away before they've even had time to center themselves. And over time, that compounds into stress, into regret, into feeling lost. But when you commit to a consistent morning routine, you're telling yourself that your life matters enough to be lived intentionally. That you're not just surviving the day, you're building your future with how you begin each one. And don't think consistency means perfection. You will have days where you sleep in. You will miss steps. That's okay. What matters is getting back on track the next day. Your power doesn't come from doing it flawlessly. It comes from doing it repeatedly. The discipline of showing up for yourself each morning, even if it's only for 15 minutes, is where the real change begins. One of the most powerful parts of a morning routine is self-trust. When you say, "I'll get up and do this," and then you follow through, something shifts inside. You start believing in yourself a little more. You start proving to yourself that you can do hard things. And over time, that belief grows into confidence. That confidence grows into action. And that action creates results. If your mornings are random, your results will be too. If your mornings are intentional, your results will follow. You don't need to overhaul your life to start. You just need to commit to 1 solid hour each morning. 1 hour that belongs to you. No one else. Not the news. Not the emails. Not the endless to-do list. Just you, setting your tone, getting clear, and stepping into the day with a strong mindset. And over time, you'll notice something. You don't dread the day anymore. You're not overwhelmed before it even begins. You wake up with a sense of direction, not because life is perfect, but because you've decided to lead it, not just react to it. That feeling of knowing you are steering the ship, that's where freedom lives. That's where peace grows. A consistent morning routine isn't about being busy. It's about being ready. Ready to take on the day. Ready to focus. Ready to grow. Most people never give themselves that chance. But you can. You can decide, starting tomorrow, that you're going to take that first hour seriously. That you're going to use it to center yourself, sharpen your mind, and fuel your spirit. That one decision, repeated daily, will create the life you've been wanting, not someday, but starting now. Not in big leaps, but in steady steps. Not through luck, but through intention. And it all begins with what you do the moment you open your eyes. Number 3, eliminate distractions that limit your daily focus. There's a silent thief stealing your time every single day. It's not obvious, but it's there lurking in your phone, your inbox, your social media feeds, and in the endless noise around you. Distractions aren't just interruptions. They are the enemy of progress. Every distraction takes a piece of your attention, and attention is the one resource you can't get back once it's gone. The harsh reality is this: most people spend more time reacting to distractions than intentionally creating something meaningful. That's why their days end with little to show, and their potential remains locked behind scattered focus. This is not about blaming technology or your environment. It's about understanding how distractions quietly sabotage your ability to grow. Every notification, every random check of messages, every background noise steals your mental energy. Your brain has to work twice as hard to refocus after being pulled away. That's why you often feel exhausted, but wonder why you haven't accomplished much. Your mind is working overtime just to catch up from all the interruptions. Focus is not a given. It's a muscle that needs protecting and training. Removing distractions starts with honesty. Ask yourself, what pulls my attention away more than it should? Is it social media scrolling first thing in the morning? Is it constant email checking? Is it people interrupting with non-urgent requests? When you identify these distraction traps clearly, you can start creating boundaries around them. Without boundaries, you're at the mercy of every beep, buzz, and chatter. But with boundaries, you reclaim your attention, and that changes everything. One of the most powerful actions you can take is to create distraction-free zones in your day. Choose times where you shut off your phone, close your email, and silence the world. Maybe it's the first 2 hours after you start work. Maybe it's a dedicated afternoon block for deep focus. When you protect these pockets of time, your mind can dive deep into important tasks without being pulled away. Deep work is where breakthroughs happen. Without it, you settle for surface-level effort. The environment you work in also matters. Clutter, noise, and interruptions make it hard to concentrate. Clear your space physically and mentally. Turn off anything that tempts you away from your task. If you can't turn off your phone, put it in another room. Use apps that block distracting websites during focus time. Create rituals to signal to your brain that it's time to work, not to browse or chat. These small changes might feel awkward at first, but they build a fortress around your focus. It's also critical to manage expectations with people around you. Let your family, friends, or co-workers know when you need uninterrupted time. This isn't about shutting the world out. It's about respecting your own process and protecting what you need to create. When people see you're serious about focus, they learn to honor it. That's part of owning your time and space. Distractions don't only come from outside. Internal distractions like worries, doubts, or random thoughts can be even more powerful. Those moments when your mind drifts to problems unrelated to your task can kill your momentum. To fight internal distraction, practice mindfulness. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back without judgment. Writing down worries or ideas that pop up during work helps too, so your mind knows it's not ignoring them, just postponing them. This simple habit trains your brain to stay on task longer. There's also a misconception that multitasking is effective. It's not. Switching between tasks fragments your attention and slows you down. Each time you shift focus, your brain needs time to recalibrate. Instead, commit to one task at a time and complete it fully before moving on. That's how momentum builds. That's how quality work emerges. When you finish one thing well, your confidence rises and you're more motivated to tackle the next challenge. You'll find that eliminating distractions isn't just about cutting things out, it's about creating space for what truly matters. When your attention is focused, your work improves, your stress decreases, and your satisfaction grows. The clarity you gain lets you see progress clearly, and progress feeds motivation. That cycle is powerful. Distractions break the cycle. Removing them builds it. Many people try to fit focus into a distracted day and end up frustrated. That's like trying to fill a leaking bucket. You need to stop the leaks first. Stop allowing distractions to pour away your energy and time. When you stop feeding distractions, your productivity grows naturally. Your work quality deepens, You feel in control, not overwhelmed. Start by auditing your day. Notice when your focus breaks down and what caused it. Then make intentional changes. Turn off notifications. Schedule specific times to check email and social media instead of random checks. Create a quiet space for important work. Communicate your focus times clearly. Don't be afraid to say no to things that pull you away from your goals. Saying no is a strength, not a weakness. It's important to recognize that your brain was not designed to focus all day without breaks. Give yourself time to rest, but keep breaks intentional. Use breaks to recharge, not to dive into distractions. A short walk, deep breathing, or stretching helps reset your mind better than endless scrolling. When you return, your focus will be sharper. The biggest truth about eliminating distractions is that it's a daily practice. It requires awareness and discipline every day, every hour. You will be tempted to give in to old habits. You will feel the pull of distractions. But every time you choose focus over distraction, you strengthen your ability to control your mind. That's the real prize. Because no tool, app, or environment can create success without your mind fully engaged. You deserve to give your full attention to the things that move you forward. You deserve to feel the satisfaction of deep work and real progress. When distractions fall away, you unlock your ability to learn faster, work better, and live more fully. You stop wasting energy on noise and start building your future. Distractions are easy. Focus is hard. But focus is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's the difference between wishing and having. It's the bridge to unlocking your full potential. The question is not whether distractions exist, they always will. The question is whether you're willing to protect your time, guard your attention, and refuse to let distractions control your life. It's not about perfect focus every minute. It's about reclaiming your power over your attention enough to make real progress every day. That shift, choosing focus, choosing to eliminate distractions, is what transforms ordinary efforts into extraordinary results. And that transformation starts now with the decision to guard your mind fiercely and direct your energy where it matters most. Number 4. Surround yourself with growth-minded people only. One of the toughest realities many face is feeling stuck, not because of their own ability, but because of the company they keep. People don't realize how much influence their environment has on their mindset and progress. It's common to say, "I want to change," or "I want to grow." But when you look around and see the people in your life, their thoughts, their habits, and their attitudes, you quickly realize that these influences either push you forward or pull you back. Most people don't grow past the limits set by the people they spend the most time with. It's a harsh truth, but it's true. If the people around you aren't committed to growth, learning, and progress, then it's very difficult for you to be. Being around people who don't challenge themselves, who complain more than they act, or who settle for comfort over improvement can slowly drain your energy. Their limiting beliefs seep into your own thinking. You start to accept smaller goals, less effort, and fewer risks because it feels safer. That's not how potential is unlocked. Potential requires a community that fuels motivation and stretches your thinking. It demands you surround yourself with people who believe in growth, who are curious, who take responsibility for their own lives, and who inspire you by their actions, not just their words. It's not about being with perfect people or those who have it all figured out. Growth-minded people are those who face challenges, make mistakes, and keep moving forward. They want to learn, they ask questions, and they share knowledge freely. They don't compete to tear others down. They compete with themselves to become better versions of who they were yesterday. That kind of environment breeds accountability, encouragement, and a sense of possibility. That's the environment your potential needs to thrive. Think about your closest circle right now. Are these people inspiring you to be better? Are they challenging your excuses? Are they supporting your goals? Or do you find yourself holding back ideas, hiding your ambitions, or lowering your standards because you don't feel understood or encouraged. This is the point where many people miss the connection between their environment and their results. You cannot expect to step into new levels of success if your daily conversations and relationships are stuck in old patterns of limitation. Changing the people around you is not about abandoning old friendships or family. It's about consciously choosing who influences your mindset, especially during key hours of your day. If you spend time with people who constantly talk about problems without seeking solutions, it's easy to adopt that mindset. But if you spend time with people who talk about ideas, who plan, who solve problems, you naturally begin to think differently. Your brain adapts to the environment. This is not magic, it's biology. The most successful people in any field understand this principle deeply. They seek out mentors, coaches, and peers who push them beyond comfort. They join groups or communities that focus on growth. They read books and attend events that fill their minds with new ideas and motivation. They don't wait for inspiration to find them. They put themselves in places where inspiration is constant. If you want to unlock your full potential, you have to be intentional about where you spend your time and energy. Surrounding yourself with growth-minded people also means being open to feedback and constructive criticism. People who want you to grow will be honest with you, even when it's uncomfortable. They won't simply nod and agree to keep things easy. Instead, they'll challenge you, ask tough questions, and hold you accountable. This isn't about harsh judgment. It's about caring enough to help you see where you can improve. Those conversations are uncomfortable but invaluable. Growth never happens in a comfort zone. It's normal to fear rejection or feel hesitant to change your social circle. But growth always requires some discomfort. Sometimes that means stepping away from relationships that no longer serve your future. It means investing more time in new connections that align with your vision. If you feel lonely or uncertain during this process, remember that feeling alone is temporary, but staying stuck is permanent. Growth-minded people will lift you up and help you see your potential when you can't see it yourself. Another aspect is being a growth-minded person yourself. People are attracted to energy and mindset. When you show commitment to your own development, you naturally draw others who do the same. It becomes a cycle of positive influence. But if you constantly complain, avoid challenges, or settle for mediocrity, you'll attract the same energy in return. The company you keep is a reflection of who you are becoming. Building a growth environment doesn't require a big social overhaul overnight. It can start with small steps. Reach out to someone who inspires you, join a group related to your interests, attend a workshop, or find an online community focused on growth. These small steps create momentum. Momentum brings connection, and connection builds a support system that carries you through tough times. In growth-minded circles, success is celebrated, but failures are also shared openly. People understand that failure is part of the process, not the end. That mindset releases fear and encourages experimentation. You start to take risks you never thought possible because you know you have support. That's freedom. That's where real growth happens. Imagine waking up every day knowing you have people around you who believe in your dreams, who push you to be better, and who inspire you with their own actions. That feeling is powerful. It creates confidence and energy. It makes your goals feel not only possible, but inevitable. Your daily environment shapes your daily decisions. Your daily decisions build your future. This is the connection you cannot ignore. Choosing growth-minded people means also being mindful about who influences your thoughts outside your immediate circle. Media, books, podcasts, and social platforms are all part of your environment. Feed your mind with ideas that stretch you, not those that keep you small. Fill your day with voices that inspire action, not those that encourage excuses. Surrounding yourself with growth-minded people isn't a one-time fix. It's an ongoing commitment to your future. The people you choose to invest time with will either lift you toward your potential or hold you back. You have the power to decide. Your potential grows exponentially when you connect with those who challenge and support you. This is not just advice, it's a strategy for transformation. When you consistently choose growth-minded people, you create an environment where your best self emerges naturally. You'll find yourself thinking bigger, working harder, and believing more. The journey won't be easy. It will test your comfort, your habits, and your beliefs. But it will be worth every challenge, because it leads to unlocking your full potential in a way nothing else can. Number 5, learn one new skill every single week. It's hard to admit, but many people go through life waiting for the perfect moment to improve themselves. They believe that growth will happen when circumstances change or when they feel ready. The truth is, waiting keeps potential locked away. Time passes, opportunities slip, and the gap between where you are and where you want to be only grows larger. Learning one new skill every week isn't about perfection or becoming an expert overnight. It's about the simple, steady process of expanding what you know and what you can do. That slow and steady increase builds confidence, ability, and momentum. The people who unlock their full potential don't wait for perfect conditions. They take consistent action to grow, even if it's just a little bit at a time. Many feel overwhelmed by the idea of learning something new regularly. It sounds like a huge commitment, but it doesn't have to be. Learning one new skill each week could mean something as simple as mastering a new shortcut on your computer, understanding a different approach to communication, or practicing a new way to organize your day. The key is consistency. Small improvements stack up into massive growth over time. When you learn something new, your brain forms new connections. It gets stronger and more flexible. That strength shows up in every area of your life: work, relationships, problem-solving, and self-confidence. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you have to learn something big or complicated for it to matter. But small skills build the foundation for bigger wins. For example, learning how to listen better improves your relationships and leadership. Learning how to manage your time better helps you accomplish more without burning out. Each new skill makes the next one easier. You develop a habit of growth that carries you through tough times when motivation is low. Learning a new skill weekly forces you out of your comfort zone. That discomfort is necessary for change. Growth happens when you stretch your abilities and try things you're not sure about. When you make mistakes, you learn faster. When you face challenges, you build resilience. This cycle is how potential becomes actual. Without the willingness to learn regularly, you remain stuck in familiar patterns that limit your progress. To make this work, be intentional. Don't just passively wait for something interesting to come your way. Choose the skill you want to focus on each week. This choice should be strategic, something that moves you closer to your bigger goals or fills a gap in your abilities. Write it down. Break it into small steps. Schedule time to practice. Treat it like a priority, not an option. This disciplined approach turns learning into a habit, not a chore. Resources are everywhere today, but that can cause overwhelm too. Focus on one source at a time, like a book, online tutorial, podcast, or workshop, and dive deep. Avoid jumping from one thing to another without finishing. Mastery doesn't come from surface-level exposure. It comes from focused practice and application. When you apply what you learn, you see progress, and that progress fuels motivation to keep going. There will be weeks when learning feels hard or time feels scarce. Life gets busy, and excuses will try to pull you back into old habits. This is when discipline matters most. Growth isn't about feeling inspired every moment. It's about commitment, even when you don't feel like it. Showing up consistently, even in small ways, builds momentum that carries you forward. When you miss a day or week, get back on track quickly. Don't let perfectionism or guilt stop your progress. Tracking your learning is a powerful way to stay motivated. Keep a journal or digital log of the skills you've learned and the progress you've made. Seeing your growth in black and white reminds you that change is happening. It also reveals patterns, what works, what doesn't, and what excites you most. Reflection helps you refine your learning process and choose skills that truly matter. Another key benefit of learning a new skill each week is the way it builds your confidence. Confidence is not something you're born with, it's something you build through experience. Every new skill you gain proves to yourself that you're capable of growth and change. That belief in yourself spills over into other areas of life. You start to trust your ability to handle challenges and seize opportunities. That trust is the foundation for unlocking your full potential. Learning regularly also expands your perspective. When you explore different fields, ideas, and methods, you start to connect dots others miss. You develop creativity and problem-solving skills that are crucial for success in any area. Growth-minded people don't just stick to one narrow skill set. They build a diverse toolbox that prepares them for the unexpected. This adaptability makes you stronger and more prepared for life's twists and turns. It's important to remember that learning isn't a solo journey. Seek out communities, mentors, or peers who are also focused on growth. Sharing what you learn and hearing others' experiences enriches your understanding. It keeps you accountable. It reminds you that growth is a collective effort and no one achieves great things completely alone. At its core, learning one new skill every week is about embracing a mindset of continuous improvement. It's rejecting the idea that your current abilities define your future. Instead, you decide that every day offers a chance to grow, to get better, to move closer to the life you want. This mindset creates a ripple effect. It changes how you approach challenges, setbacks, and successes. It changes how you see yourself. Imagine what your life will look like a year from now if you commit to this practice. That's 52 new skills, 52 small victories, 52 times you stretched beyond your comfort. The knowledge and confidence you gain will transform not only your career, but your sense of possibility. The person you are today won't even recognize the person you become. Waiting for motivation or perfect timing is a trap. Growth requires action. Learning one new skill every week is a simple but powerful way to take control of your journey. It's practical, achievable, and proven to produce results. This habit will push you beyond limits you thought were fixed and open doors you didn't know existed. The power to unlock your full potential lies in the choices you make every week about learning and growth. Consistent effort over time is what separates those who dream from those who do. It's not about giant leaps, but the small steps that add up to incredible transformation. When you decide to learn every week, you commit to becoming the person capable of achieving your biggest goals. That decision alone changes everything. Number 6. Track your habits and improve them daily. Most people underestimate the power of their daily habits. It's common to think that success or failure comes down to a few big decisions or lucky breaks. But the truth is, your life is shaped by what you do every single day. Small actions repeated consistently create habits, and habits build your reality. The harsh reality many face is that most of these habits operate on autopilot, without any conscious thought. That's why people often find themselves stuck in cycles they don't like, wondering why progress feels impossible. The answer lies in tracking your habits and improving them every day. Without awareness of what you do, you can't change it. Tracking habits gives you that awareness. It shines a light on your patterns and gives you the control to adjust. Tracking habits may sound boring or tedious, but it's a critical step toward unlocking your full potential. When you start writing down or recording your actions, you realize how often you stray from what matters most. You see where time is wasted, where distractions take over, and where opportunities for improvement hide. This is not about judging yourself or feeling guilty. It's about honest observation. Honest observation creates clarity, and clarity is necessary for change. Many don't track their habits because they believe they can remember or handle it mentally. The problem with memory is it's unreliable. Emotions, stress, and distractions cloud judgment. When you physically record your habits, you remove guesswork. You get a clear picture of your day-to-day life. You might discover you spend hours on unproductive activities or that you're skipping important actions that lead to success. This awareness alone creates motivation to improve. The process starts with identifying key habits that align with your goals. These are not random behaviors. They're actions that directly impact your progress. For example, if your goal is health, tracking habits like water intake, exercise, and sleep quality matter. If your goal is professional growth, habits like reading, networking, or focused work time are critical. Once identified, commit to tracking these habits daily. Use a journal, an app, or a simple checklist, whatever works for you. The important part is consistency. As you track, patterns will emerge. You'll see what's working and what isn't. Maybe you notice you're most productive in the morning but waste afternoons on distractions. Maybe you see that skipping a morning routine leads to a chaotic day. These insights give you clues about where to focus your improvement efforts. Without this feedback, change feels like shooting in the dark. Improving habits daily means making small adjustments rather than trying to overhaul everything at once. Massive changes often fail because they are overwhelming. Instead, focus on tiny improvements, adding 5 more minutes of focused work, drinking 1 extra glass of water, reducing screen time by a few minutes. These small wins accumulate and build momentum. Over time, they become new automatic behaviors that push you forward without draining your energy. Tracking also keeps you honest. It's easy to say, "I'll do better tomorrow," but when you see the data, excuses fade. This objective record holds you accountable to yourself in a powerful way. It's like having a coach with you all day, gently pointing out where you can do better and reminding you of your commitment. That accountability breeds discipline, which is the backbone of lasting success. There will be days when habits slip or motivation wanes. Tracking helps here too. It shows that progress is not about perfection but persistence. Missing one day doesn't erase your growth if you keep moving forward. Seeing your streaks and progress over weeks or months provides encouragement to stay on track. It turns habit building into a game of improvement rather than a battle of willpower. Tracking habits also reveals hidden obstacles. Maybe procrastination is linked to specific triggers like social media or certain environments. When you notice these triggers, you can plan strategies to reduce their impact. This problem-solving approach is much more effective than blaming yourself or feeling stuck. It turns challenges into manageable puzzles that you can solve step by step. Beyond individual habits, tracking helps connect the dots between actions and results. For example, you might realize that on days you meditate or plan your day, your stress is lower and productivity is higher, or that skipping exercise leads to less energy and focus. This feedback loop strengthens your motivation to keep habits aligned with your goals because you see the real impact on your life. Improving habits is not just about adding good actions, it's also about removing bad ones. Tracking exposes negative behaviors that drain your time and energy. It forces you to confront habits like mindless scrolling, poor sleep routines, or negative self-talk. Awareness of these destructive patterns is the first step toward replacing them with better alternatives. One of the most powerful things about habit tracking is that it creates a sense of control and progress. When life feels chaotic, small wins in your daily routine anchor you. They remind you that you are capable of change and that your future depends on what you do now. This feeling reduces overwhelm and builds confidence, making you more willing to tackle bigger challenges. To get started, choose a few key habits that matter most to you. Don't overload yourself with too many. Track them honestly every day. Review your data weekly to spot trends and make small tweaks. Celebrate progress, no matter how small. Learn from setbacks without judgment. Over time, this process becomes a powerful cycle of growth that transforms your daily life and gradually unlocks your full potential. Tracking habits is a simple but profound tool that puts you in the driver's seat of your life. It bridges the gap between your intentions and your actions. Without it, good intentions remain just wishes. With it, every day becomes an opportunity to build the life you want. Habit tracking is not just about what you do, it's about who you become. And becoming someone committed to growth, discipline, and self-awareness is the path to true success. Number 7. Face your fears to grow your confidence fast. There is a harsh truth many people avoid. Fear controls more of our lives than we admit. Fear doesn't just show up in big moments, it creeps into everyday decisions, holding us back silently. It's the reason people don't apply for jobs they want, avoid difficult conversations, or fail to start that project that could change everything. The reality is simple and uncomfortable. If you want to unlock your full potential, you have to face your fears head-on. The longer you avoid what scares you, the more power those fears gain over you. They grow like shadows in a dark room, making everything seem bigger and more intimidating than it really is. Many think confidence comes first, then fear disappears. But the truth is the opposite. Confidence grows from facing fears repeatedly and proving to yourself you can handle discomfort. Confidence is not some magical trait reserved for a lucky few. It's the byproduct of courage in action. When you meet your fears directly, you gain knowledge and strength. You find out that what you feared often isn't as terrible as your mind imagined. This discovery shrinks fear's hold and builds your inner power fast. The process of facing fear is not about eliminating it completely. That's unrealistic. Fear is a natural human emotion designed to protect us. The goal is to manage fear so it doesn't stop you. Instead of running away or freezing, you learn to move forward despite feeling afraid. Every time you do this, your brain rewires itself, creating new pathways of resilience and self-trust. This growth happens step by step, not overnight. One of the hardest parts is admitting what you're afraid of. Many live with vague anxiety without naming their fears. That's like walking blindfolded through a dangerous path. Clarity comes from identifying your specific fears. Is it fear of failure, rejection, embarrassment, or something else? Once you name the fear, it loses some of its mystery and power. You can begin to analyze it realistically. How likely is the worst outcome? What resources do you have to handle challenges? This practical examination weakens the exaggerated stories fear creates. Next, create a plan to face fear gradually. Start with smaller challenges that push your comfort zone without overwhelming you. For example, if public speaking terrifies you, begin by speaking up in a small group, then gradually move to larger audiences. If fear of failure holds you back from launching a business, start with small projects or tests to build experience. These incremental wins build momentum and confidence. Avoid the trap of waiting until you feel ready, because readiness rarely comes before action. The key is to act in spite of fear. Each time you face a fear and survive, you gain evidence that you are capable. This evidence rewires your mind away from "I can't" toward "I can handle this." Confidence builds as your experiences stack up. Eventually, you become someone who doesn't run from fear, but meets it as a challenge to grow. This shift changes your entire life because fear no longer dictates your choices. Facing fear also builds emotional strength. You learn to sit with uncomfortable feelings without escaping. This emotional endurance is essential because life will always bring uncertainty and challenges. The people who succeed aren't those without fear, but those who manage it well. They are like athletes who train their minds as much as their bodies to perform under pressure. Fear often masks itself as other issues: procrastination, self-doubt, or perfectionism. Recognizing this connection is crucial. When you notice hesitation or excuses creeping in, ask yourself, what am I afraid of here? This honest reflection exposes fear's disguise and gives you a chance to confront it directly rather than avoid it through distractions or overthinking. Another powerful tool to face fear is to share your goals and struggles with trusted people. Isolation amplifies fear because your mind can spiral unchecked. When you open up, you gain support, encouragement, and sometimes practical advice. Hearing others' experiences also reminds you that fear is a common human experience, not a sign of weakness. This sense of connection reduces shame and builds courage. Facing fear fast-tracks your growth because it removes barriers that slow progress. Many stay stuck for years because they never step into discomfort. Growth demands discomfort. When you push through fear, you tap into reserves of strength you didn't know you had. That feeling of overcoming is addictive. It motivates you to keep pushing forward and trying new things. You develop a mindset that views challenges as opportunities to learn instead of threats to avoid. This process changes your identity. Instead of seeing yourself as someone limited by fear, you become someone who is brave, resilient, and willing to act. This new self-image influences all areas of life, relationships, career, health. Confidence spills over, creating positive momentum that pulls you forward even on difficult days. Fear is a natural signal, but it doesn't have to be a stop sign. When you face fear, you rewrite your story. You move from being a victim of circumstances to the author of your life. This shift in mindset is one of the most powerful ways to unlock your full potential. The first step is often the hardest, but it's also the most transformative. Once you take that step, fear loses its grip and your confidence grows faster than you thought possible. There will be moments when fear resurfaces, especially when facing new challenges. That's normal. The difference is in how you respond. You respond not by backing down, but by acknowledging fear and moving forward anyway. This consistent practice creates a foundation of courage that supports you through all kinds of uncertainty. No one else can do this work for you. Fear is personal, and so is courage. The journey to confidence through facing fear is a solo path, but it's worth every effort. As you commit to meeting fear instead of avoiding it, you'll find doors opening in your life you didn't expect. Opportunities, relationships, and achievements become possible because fear no longer limits your vision or actions. Take this truth seriously. Confidence grows quickly when you confront fear directly and regularly. Waiting for fear to disappear or for perfect conditions only prolongs frustration and stagnation. The fastest way to build unshakable confidence is to do what scares you. This path isn't easy, but it is the one that leads to real growth and lasting success. Facing fear transforms your inner world and shapes your outer reality. It's a powerful step to unlocking your full potential and living a life defined by courage and possibility. Number 8. Visualize your goals every morning with clarity. Waking up to a foggy mind, feeling like the day is just another blur. This is what many people experience. They drift from one task to another without a clear direction or purpose. The truth is, without a vivid picture of where you want to go, your efforts become scattered and lose power. If your mind doesn't hold a clear vision, your actions will wander aimlessly. That's why visualizing your goals every morning is not just a nice idea. It's an essential practice to unlock your full potential. Clarity in your mind fuels clarity in your actions. Without it, your energy dissipates, your motivation fades, and distractions take over. Visualizing your goals means taking time each morning to create a sharp, detailed image in your mind of what you want to achieve. This is not daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's a deliberate, focused mental exercise. When you see your goals clearly, your brain starts to work differently. It begins to notice opportunities and solutions that otherwise would be missed. Your subconscious mind, which controls most of your behavior, gets a precise target to aim for. It aligns your habits, decisions, and energy toward that target without you even realizing it. This clarity creates a magnetic pull in your daily life. When your mind knows exactly what success looks like, it's easier to say no to distractions and yes to actions that matter. Your focus sharpens and your productivity increases. Visualizing your goals activates powerful emotional energy. When you imagine yourself achieving something meaningful, you connect deeply with the feelings of success, pride, satisfaction, joy. These feelings act like fuel, driving you to work harder and stay committed. The process of visualization requires intentionality. It's not enough to vaguely think, "I want to be successful." You have to create a detailed mental picture. Where are you? What are you doing? Who is around you? What sounds do you hear? What emotions fill you? The more sensory details you include, the sights, sounds, smells, even tastes, the stronger the mental image becomes. This immersive experience makes the goal feel real and achievable. Visualizing every morning helps set a positive tone for your day. It's the first message you send your brain, reminding it what matters most. This practice creates momentum. Instead of waking up and reacting to the day's demands, you start with purpose. Your actions align with your vision from the moment you open your eyes. This alignment is crucial because energy flows where attention goes. Focused attention on your goals directs your energy to create results. Another benefit is that visualization builds confidence. When you see yourself succeeding repeatedly in your mind, you build trust in your abilities. The mental rehearsal reduces fear and doubt because your brain becomes familiar with the steps to success. It's like training your mind before the real event. This preparation boosts your courage to take on challenges with a calm, positive mindset. Visualization also helps you identify potential obstacles and how to overcome them. As you imagine the journey toward your goals, your mind naturally considers challenges. This is not to scare you but to prepare you. By mentally rehearsing solutions, you build resilience and readiness. You reduce surprises and increase your ability to adapt quickly when problems arise. A clear vision every morning acts as a compass, especially on tough days when motivation wanes. When distractions or negative thoughts try to pull you away, recalling your vivid mental picture brings you back to center. It reminds you why you started and what you're working toward. This emotional anchor prevents drifting and keeps your commitment strong. Consistency in this practice is vital. Skipping visualization allows doubt and distractions to fill the space. The mind needs repeated exposure to the vision to strengthen the neural pathways that support success. Like physical exercise builds muscle, mental exercise builds focus and determination. Making visualization a daily habit creates a foundation that supports all your efforts. Many successful people credit their achievements to the power of clear visualization. They don't leave their dreams to chance or wishful thinking. They commit to seeing the outcome clearly every single day. This clarity transforms vague hopes into tangible goals. It changes the way they approach obstacles, setbacks, and opportunities. It creates a mindset ready to act decisively and persistently. To start this practice, dedicate 5 to 10 minutes each morning in a quiet place. Close your eyes and breathe deeply to calm your mind. Picture your most important goals as if they are already happening. Engage all your senses. Feel the excitement, the pride, the satisfaction. Let these emotions wash over you fully. When you open your eyes, carry that energy with you into the day. Visualizing with clarity every morning isn't a magic trick. It's a simple, practical tool that changes how your brain works. It sharpens your focus, strengthens your confidence, and aligns your actions with your deepest desires. This practice helps you step into each day with purpose instead of confusion, with power instead of hesitation. When your goals are clear and vivid, you begin to live in a different way. You act with intention, make smarter decisions, and keep moving forward despite challenges. This daily mental rehearsal builds unstoppable momentum that compounds over time. Your potential unfolds naturally as your vision becomes reality. The clarity gained through morning visualization illuminates the path ahead. It removes doubt and distraction by providing a constant reminder of what you're working for. It makes success feel closer and more real every day. Your mind becomes a powerful ally in your growth, rather than a source of confusion and fear. Visualize clearly, visualize daily, and watch how your life transforms. The simple act of creating a sharp mental picture fuels motivation and directs your energy toward your goals. It helps you rise above obstacles and keeps you moving forward when the journey feels hard. This is not just advice, it's a proven approach to harnessing the power of your mind. Use it to unlock your full potential and create the life you truly want. Number 9. Take massive action even when you're unmotivated. There's a reality many face daily: waking up feeling flat, tired, and uninspired. The drive to push forward isn't always there. Motivation isn't a constant companion, it fluctuates like the weather. Some days it's blazing hot, making everything seem easy. Other days it's barely a flicker, making every step feel heavy and draining. That's the hard truth. If waiting for motivation to strike before you take action, you'll find yourself stuck far more often than moving ahead. The difference between those who reach their goals and those who don't is often what they do when motivation is low. The key is to take massive action even when motivation is missing. Massive action means committing to meaningful, focused effort regardless of how you feel in the moment. It's not about doing small, easy tasks that make you feel busy but don't move the needle. It's about pushing yourself to do what matters most, even when your energy is drained and your mind is fighting you. This kind of action breaks through the barrier of procrastination and doubt. It builds momentum that fuels motivation rather than waiting for motivation to spark the first move. Most people believe motivation must come first. They think, if I feel inspired, I'll work hard. The problem is, motivation is often a result of action, not the cause. Once you start doing the work, even a little, it creates a sense of progress. Progress brings energy. Energy brings motivation. It's a cycle that starts with a simple step forward, not a feeling that magically appears. So, the first step to unlocking your potential is learning to act regardless of your mood. Taking massive action requires discipline and mindset shifts. It demands that you push past excuses, distractions, and the urge to delay. Your mind will try to trick you with thoughts like, "I'll do it later," or "I'm too tired." Recognizing these thoughts and moving forward anyway is what separates achievers from dreamers. It's normal to feel resistance. It's part of the process. But choosing to act despite resistance strengthens your ability to handle challenges over time. When motivation is low, it's easy to convince yourself that small efforts will do or to avoid the hardest tasks. However, scaling down your effort undermines progress. Massive action means attacking the biggest, most important tasks first. These tasks often push your comfort zone but deliver the greatest rewards. Completing them, even on a day when you don't feel like it, builds confidence and drives lasting change. One effective strategy to take massive action when unmotivated is to create a clear plan with specific steps. When you know exactly what to do next, it's easier to start. Vague goals or uncertain next steps give your mind room to stall. Break big projects into bite-sized pieces that can be tackled even with low energy. Completing these small but important actions accumulates into big results, and you'll find your motivation growing as progress becomes visible. Another powerful approach is to focus on the why behind your goals. When motivation fades, reconnecting with your deeper reasons can provide the spark to move forward. Remind yourself why your goals matter, what achieving them will mean to you and those around you. These emotional connections serve as fuel when logical reasons alone aren't enough. Seeing the impact of your efforts beyond yourself creates a stronger push to act even in tough moments. Physical movement also plays a critical role in igniting action. When your body is still, your mind often follows suit. Starting with a small physical action, standing up, stretching, walking, can activate your energy and break mental inertia. These simple movements send signals to your brain that you're ready to work. Pair this with a focused task, and you create a momentum loop that's hard to stop. The environment around you influences your ability to take massive action as well. Disorganized spaces, noise, or interruptions make it harder to push through low motivation. Preparing your workspace in advance, eliminating distractions, and setting clear boundaries protect your focus. When the environment supports your efforts, it requires less mental energy to stay committed. Taking massive action becomes more natural when your surroundings are aligned with your goals. Sometimes taking massive action means setting aside the idea of perfection. Waiting for the perfect time, mood, or conditions often leads to endless delays. Imperfect action trumps perfect inaction every time. Moving forward with what you have and adjusting as you go builds momentum and experience. It teaches resilience and sharpens your ability to adapt. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Massive action also creates a chain reaction of opportunities. When you push forward consistently, doors open that you didn't expect. New ideas, connections, and solutions appear as a result of your effort. This flow only starts once you begin acting. The more you do, the more your potential expands beyond what you imagined possible. This principle applies not only to work, but to every area of life. Whether it's improving health, relationships, or skills, massive action is the difference between wishing for change and creating it. The days you don't feel motivated are the days that test your commitment and build your character. Those moments, when handled well, become the foundation of lasting success. There's no perfect recipe to feel motivated all the time, but there is a reliable formula to keep moving forward. Act first. Motivation follows. The challenge is to train your mind and body to start, even when the inner voice argues against it. Each time you push through, you strengthen the muscle of action. Over time, this muscle grows so strong that motivation becomes a natural byproduct of your habits. Taking massive action also teaches patience and trust in the process. You may not see immediate results, but the consistent effort compounds. Small wins build up and eventually lead to breakthroughs. The key is persistence and refusing to give in to the temptation of stopping when motivation fades. This mindset is what transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Understanding that action creates motivation shifts how you approach your daily tasks. Instead of waiting for the right feeling, you commit to doing the work regardless. This breaks the cycle of procrastination and regret. It builds a forward-moving life where each day counts. Massive action moves you from dreaming about potential to living it fully. In conclusion, your potential doesn't depend on how motivated you feel at any given moment. It depends on your ability to take massive action consistently, especially when motivation is absent. This ability is the key that unlocks your full power. When you master the habit of acting first and feeling motivated second, your progress will accelerate and your goals will come within reach, no matter how tough the day feels. Number 10. Reflect weekly and adjust your growth strategy. There is a moment in life when you realize you have been running in place, busy but not progressing. You work hard, maybe even long hours, but something feels off. Your results don't match your effort. This is more common than most admit. The missing piece for many is the practice of reflection, really looking at where you are, what's working, and what needs to change. Without this, growth becomes random, and you waste precious time going down the wrong paths. Reflection is not just stopping to think. It's a strategic pause to measure, understand, and course correct. This weekly habit is essential for unlocking your full potential. Reflection requires honesty. It means you face the truth about your progress without sugarcoating. You acknowledge your wins, but don't ignore where you fell short. This is not about blame or guilt. It's about clear-eyed assessment. If you want to grow, you have to know exactly what's happening in your life and work. Without this awareness, you'll keep repeating mistakes or sticking to ineffective routines, believing they will eventually pay off. They won't. Success demands adjustment based on what reality tells you each week. To reflect effectively, set aside dedicated time every week, consistent and undisturbed. This isn't a quick glance at your to-do list or a rushed mental check-in. It's a focused session where you review your actions, results, and feelings. Ask yourself hard questions. Did I make progress toward my goals this week? Which habits moved me forward? Which ones held me back? What challenges showed up and how did I respond? What did I learn about myself and my approach? This thorough review uncovers patterns that are invisible day to day. Writing down your reflections is crucial. When you put your thoughts on paper, you engage deeper with your experience. You see things more clearly and can track changes over time. Journaling or keeping a growth log creates a record that helps you stay accountable. It also serves as a reminder of your journey, how far you've come, and what adjustments you made along the way. This documentation becomes a powerful tool for motivation and insight. Once you identify what worked and what didn't, the next step is adjusting your growth strategy. This means being flexible and willing to change course. Sticking rigidly to a plan that isn't delivering results only wastes energy and time. Growth isn't a straight line. It requires trial, error, and adaptation. Adjustments can mean changing your daily routine, altering your goals to be more realistic or ambitious, shifting your learning focus, or even rethinking the people you surround yourself with. The key is to remain open and responsive. An important part of adjustment is setting new priorities based on your reflection. Some tasks or habits that seemed important may prove less valuable. Others might need more attention than before. Prioritizing effectively ensures your time and energy go where they create the biggest impact. This clarity sharpens your focus and reduces overwhelm, helping you work smarter, not just harder. Reflection also strengthens your resilience. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to get discouraged or give up. But by reviewing setbacks objectively, you can extract lessons instead of letting failures define you. This mindset shift changes obstacles into opportunities for learning. Every challenge becomes a chance to refine your approach and grow stronger. This perspective fuels perseverance, which is vital for long-term success. Another benefit of weekly reflection is maintaining alignment with your core values and bigger vision. It's easy to get caught up in daily tasks and lose sight of why you started in the first place. Reflection brings you back to your deeper purpose and reminds you of the impact you want to make. This connection to meaning reignites passion and commitment, especially during tough times. Reflection can also reveal gaps in your skills or knowledge that you didn't notice before. Recognizing these gaps allows you to seek out targeted learning opportunities. This proactive approach keeps your growth intentional and efficient. Instead of randomly picking what to learn next, you focus on what will truly elevate your potential. Accountability plays a role here as well. Sharing your reflections with a mentor, coach, or trusted friend can deepen your insight. They can offer a fresh perspective, ask questions you didn't think of, and support you in making effective adjustments. This external feedback loop complements your self-assessment and helps you stay on track. As you build this habit, you'll notice a shift in how you approach challenges. Instead of reacting emotionally or impulsively, you develop a calm, thoughtful response. Reflection trains your mind to pause, analyze, and choose your next move carefully. This calm decision-making enhances your confidence and effectiveness. The rhythm of weekly reflection creates a natural cycle of growth. Each week you take stock, learn, adjust, and act with renewed clarity. This process prevents stagnation and keeps you moving forward with purpose. Over time, these small weekly improvements compound into significant progress. Your path becomes clearer, your efforts more impactful, and your potential more fully realized. Skipping reflection or doing it superficially is like sailing without a compass. You may move, but the direction is uncertain. This wastes precious resources and time. Growth requires intentional navigation, and reflection is your compass. It keeps you focused, aware, and adaptive to whatever life throws your way. Reflection also brings peace of mind. When you review your week, you create space to celebrate what you accomplished. This gratitude balances the drive for improvement with recognition of success. It reminds you that growth is a journey made of many small victories, not just a distant destination. Building this habit may feel uncomfortable at first. Facing your shortcomings is never easy, and it requires courage. But like any skill, reflection gets easier and more natural with practice. The rewards far outweigh the discomfort. You'll find yourself less overwhelmed, more confident, and more in control of your life. When reflection becomes a priority, you begin to see your life and work as a dynamic process. You're not a passive observer, but an active creator of your future. You take ownership of your growth instead of waiting for external circumstances to change. This shift empowers you to unlock your full potential on your own terms. In this practice lies a powerful truth. Consistent, thoughtful reflection combined with deliberate adjustment is what transforms effort into real progress. It's the difference between drifting and steering, between hoping and achieving. The weekly habit of reflecting and refining your growth strategy builds the foundation for lasting success, fulfillment, and personal mastery.